This will be the video notes for 8-6 for angle sum and exterior angles of triangles. This is for 8th grade. Sorry I'm not there today, guys, but hopefully this will help you out. First thing I need you guys to know is whenever we are dealing with a triangle, if I were to add up all of the interior angles, talking about that one, and that one, everything would add up to 180 degrees. So if I need to solve for just angle X, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take 180, because I know that's everything on the inside of that triangle, and I'm going to subtract these two angles, because that would leave me with just angle X. So the way I'm going to do this is I'm going to add these two angles up first, and then subtract it from 180. So I'm going to do 66 and 52. So I know that those two angles together add up to 118. So I'm going to subtract that 118 from 180, letting me know that angle X is going to be 62 degrees. So angle X is 62. Now, there's one other thing that I need you guys to know, and I can prove it to you real quick as well. Sometimes you guys are going to have to solve for an additional angle. We'll call this one angle Y. This is an exterior angle. Anytime I want to find what my exterior angle is, I can add my two alternates. So my alternate interior angles are what I have circled here in yellow already. I'm going to circle them in green now. But angle Y is the same thing as these two added together. So angle Y is going to be 118 degrees just by adding those two other angles. And I'm going to prove it real quick because we already said that X is 62. And what I know that this flat line right here is 180 degrees. Flat lines are 180 degrees. So if I were to do 180 and I were to subtract that angle of 62, I would have that 118 that we came up with. So there are two ways to come up with that angle Y. I can either add the two exterior angles, that 66 and that 52, or I can subtract that angle X, the adjacent angle, and I can do 180 minus angle X, whatever works best for you. Now I'm going to move on to some of these exercises down here because they're a little more straightforward. What we're going to be doing is we're going to solve for angle X, and we're going to solve for what I'm now including is angle Y. So again, to find angle X, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take the two interior angles and I'm going to add them together. So I'm going to take 82 and 75, and I know that I have a total of 157 for both of these angles, which is already going to be Y. So I know Y, but for X, I'm going to take 180, the whole inside of this triangle, and I'm going to subtract that 157. So 180 minus 157 gives me 23 degrees. So I know that X is 23 degrees. On to number 2. Keep in mind that this mark right here means 90 degrees. So because it's easiest, I'm going to solve for Y first. So I'm going to do 90 plus this 43, and I have a total of 113. So Y, or angle Y, is going to be 113 degrees. For X, I'm going to do 180 minus that 113. When I do 180 minus 113, I get 67 degrees. On to number 3. Again, because it's the easiest one, most of you guys are probably pretty comfortable with this by now. I'm going to add these two angles right here, my 40 and my 45. When I add those two together, I get 85 degrees, so Y is going to be 85 degrees. Now to solve for X, I will do 180 degrees minus the other two angles that are in that triangle. So 180 minus 85 is going to be 95. So X is 95. Number 4. On this one, actually, I'm going to change this up just a little bit. I'm not going to make that angle Y. I'm going to talk about this one right here. I'm going to make this angle Y on this one. So here's what I would do. I'm going to have to add these two to get angle Y. That means I'm going to have to solve for angle X first. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add the 50 degrees and the 70 degrees first. So 50 plus 70 gives me 120. And to solve for just X, I'm going to do 180 minus that 120. 180 minus 120 is just 60. So I now know x is 60. So to get y, what I'm going to do is I'm going to add my adjacent angles. I'm going to add that one, and I'm going to add that one. So 50 plus 60 is 110. So y is 110 degrees. I'm going to do one more like that just so you guys are familiar with it, and then I'm going to drop the rest of these examples. Take a look at number 6. I know that this says y right here, but I'd rather use this one right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the interior angles. I'm going to add the 40 and the 30. 40 plus 30 gives me 70. So I'm going to do 180 degrees minus 70. Leaves me with 110. So I now know that x is 110 degrees. But if I want my angle y out here, I'm going to add the 110 degrees. I'm going to circle them in green. I'm going to add that one and that one to get y. So I'll do 110 plus 40, and I get 150 degrees right here. I'm not going to worry about the rest of these exercises on this, but I'm going to show you just a couple things on the homework real quick, and then you guys will be on your own. On the homework, keep in mind, it's pretty much exactly what you've been doing. You guys are going to be solving for B and for X. B is your interior angle, X is your exterior angle. So to solve for X, you add those two. To solve for B, you still add those two, but you're going to subtract them from 180. For the most part, that's what the sheet is until you go on to 7 through, I'm not sure how many. 7 through 12. So on 7 through 12, you're going to have to do it a little bit different. You're going to have to solve for B first. So again, in order to solve for B, you're going to add these two angles. So you'll add the 67 and the 43, and you get 110 for these two angles. So to solve for B, I'm going to do 180 minus 110, and I have 70. So now to get my X, I'm going to add the 67 and the 70. So 67 plus 70 would give me 137. So there's your freebie on that one. Guys, if you have questions, make sure you come to tutorials because we will be grading this the next day.